Final phase of my master bedroom makeover. We're adding this DIY board and batten accent wall. I'll show you how to do it and give you the cost. And it's all next on Home Pro Hero. There's 6 parts to this accent wall. There's the baseboard, the top rail, the battens, the corners, the edges, and the cap. It's gonna not only look good, but it's also gonna house some decor and some lights. Got several different obstacles in the room, including receptacles, a window, and transition from white to gray trim. All in all, the accent wall is gonna work perfectly with what I currently did in the room, including the fireplace, the mantle, the floating shelves, the shiplap, the built-in bench, and also the beams. When we go out to the garage, I'll tell you about the tools and the materials needed. Let's start by taking off the baseboards. Save yourself some money by using the same baseboards. All you gotta do is clean them up. I simply pull all the nails out, and then I'll use the putty knife to scrape all the caulk off. When it comes to material, we're using 1x4 and 1x2 along with the 1x6 baseboards I just tore off and cleaned. The new boards are all primed, ready for paint. I get it at Menards, you can get it at Home Depot and Lowe's too. Along with the lumber, we need a couple tubes of caulk, a tube of liquid nails, maybe 2 if you go with the smaller version. Got some plastic wood for the seams if I need it. And then I had to pick up some brad nails, 18 2-inch, and also some Craig pocket hole screws. Tools pretty much the same. I've got my 18 gauge nailer, compact, tape measure, stud finder, and then I'm replacing my old horse. I've used this for many projects in my home. It's worked fine, but it's time to replace it. Nothing wrong with it. With this brand new Craig 720. It's supposed to be 10 times easier, we'll see. Not too much to this project. Let's start cutting wood. So unfortunately, I gotta waste a little bit of these 8-foot boards because I'm going 52 inches long on all the corners and all the battens. I made a simple little block to make sure I get all my cuts accurately and quickly. Got the 17 battens done. So now let's do the corners and the edges. 1x4 material. Same height, 52 inches. In this project, I have my main accent wall, and then I got 2 little wing walls I'm gonna build along with this. I want everything to be 3/4 of an inch short on each end. That way at the butts where they come together, the wing wall and the main wall, that they both show the same amount of trim, which will be 3.5 inches. So I'm just gonna move 3/4 of an inch, and then we'll make a top rail the exact same measurement. So on the top rail, before we cut the length, we wanna go ahead and put the 22.5 degree angle on it for the seam. Pretty simple, pretty standard in trim work. 95 3/8. So this top and base are matched, the exact same lengths. Let me knock out the other sides real quick. Same process, taking 3/4 of an inch off everything. I dropped the saw down, give me more workbench space. If you haven't seen this video, the mobile workbench, great little tool. I also took the hose off the chop saw, attached it to the new Craig jig, the 720. We're gonna see how the dust collection system works with their dust collection. There's a ton of dust because you're doing a ton of drilling. Anyways, all I do is slide this thing in here like this. It'll self-adjust. I've got this set up for 3/4 inch material. All you do is put the holes in. Looks clean, looks right. Just make sure you do it on the back side, not the front side. That will be the mistake you make if you make one. Wow, that's super simple. Oh, I better turn dust collection on, right? That might help. Wow, not too bad. One done, a billion to go. Tell you one thing, the dust collection is definitely working. I can hear it. And it's really sucking. Okay, that's flat and credible right there. So real quick with the 1x2s, I use the 2 holes right here together. There's a line to make a center, get in the ballpark. With the 1x4s, and actually 1x6s if I was using them, you would use the 2 outside ones. That's how simple it is. I'm not sponsored by Craig, I wish I was. I love their products. But long story short is, it's phenomenal. It's a game changer. And look at that, barely anything comes out of that. And I'm telling you, these things make a big mess. Close enough. Let me knock out the rest of the 1x2s. I'll come back to you. Crazy. All right, pretty much done with this for now. Let's put that away and let's go ahead and assemble one. Because I've used SketchUp to do my design, it's really simple for me to get my measurements off that to make sure this all sets out perfectly. You can use it, or you can just use a paper and pen. So when you're planning a wall such as this, you really want the spacing between the battens all the same per section. So my back wall, they're about 15 inches a piece. I think they're a little bit less on both sides. So I'm basically going with a 1x2 here, a 1x4 here, a 1x4 here, and then 2 battens, which are 1x2s. I'm gonna do a transition from white trim to gray trim. So this will sit in here just like that when I'm done. I'm not gonna install that right now. We're just gonna build the panel. So we're gonna start with the base. We're gonna start with a 1x4. I've got this clamp, it's a Craig clamp, pretty simple. All we're gonna do is put this 1x4 right on the exact edge of the 1x6 baseboard. I'm gonna try and do it without glue and see if I even really need it. Okay, so boom, there we go. It's nice and flush, nice and tight. Everything looks perfect. You're gonna learn pocket screws are awesome, especially for DIY people like you and I. Okay, and then all you're gonna do is just drive the screw in. That's it, there we go. And number 2. Pretty firm. Whoops. All right, the hardest part is holding it up, right? Let's put it on the floor and do it down there. It's a lot easier. Same process on this end. Get in the zip code. You can make adjustments with this clamp if you need to. Now it's off a tad bit. You can adjust the clamp and make it nice and flush, just like that. Put both screws in. You could definitely use glue here if you wanted to, but like I said, I'm gonna try it without. I'm gonna make sure I put plenty of liquid nails on the back. Once it's on the wall, it's not gonna matter. Bingo. Okay, then let's put the 2 battens in. Same process, other than the boards are smaller. So get in the ballpark, all you're gonna do is center the batten on the line I've already drawn. Boom. Put 2 screws in the back. Look at that. Really good, really good. Not only does the clamp hold it tight for you so you can screw it, it also keeps those seams between the boards perfect every time, nice and level. Now we got the bottom all tied in. Now it's just the top, which is the easiest part. There we go. Sucks that right up. Hey, see how that's off a little bit? If you just twist up a little bit, it should bring that in. See that? Look at that, perfect. All right, now we're home free. Let's get these middle ones. Now you want to kind of somewhat see there's my line right there. See how nice and neat that fits? About perfect. No one's gonna notice if you're off a tad bit, by the way. But you're doing most of the work right now. It's gonna be easy to put on the wall. Get her lined up, everything fits together like a glove. Put a clamp on it and you're good to go. One panel. Pretty sturdy, isn't it? Okay, here's number 2. Went together real nice and square. We're gonna move on to the bigger sections now. Same process. I got all 3 panels done, had a little break in between, but we have problems. The good thing is it's all fixable. Let's go inside. I'll show you where the problems are. If you remember, I took 1.5 inches off for 3/4 on each side. The problem is when they were on the wall, they were buttoned up different directions and some of them already had 3/4 of an inch off. So instead of measuring my opening and then making sure this was 1.5 inches shorter than my opening, I just went 1.5 off of the current board, which obviously was wrong. Not a big deal. I just had to add these extension pieces in here. This one's 1.5 inches, that one's 3/4. That should cover it. I had the same problem on this one. I'll have to add a space to this end down here, but you won't notice a difference. Trust me, you won't notice a difference. Okay, first thing up is the return. This piece is important. If you remember, I told you earlier in the video to separate the white trim to the gray trim. Okay, I got the laser set up for the top of the panel, so we'll make sure this board actually is at the top of the laser. There's the extension on this end. We're gonna hide it towards the doorway. That way when you walk in my master bedroom, you don't notice it. This is ready to be nailed. But let's put some glue on it first. Okay, we're not gonna go too crazy with this stuff. The reason why I'm using this stuff is because there won't be studs behind each one of these battens. So by putting some glue on it and then using nails to crisscross, it'll keep the panel on till the glue sets. Find out where the studs are at. Right there's one. Now we know we got studs at the very bottom of the wall, so we'll just hit those up real quick. You do it this way with pocket screws and liquid nails. The wall will last forever, first of all, and second of all, it'll look really, really good. But I got a 22 here cut this way and a 22 here cut this way. I'll overlap those two seams, nail through them, but other than that, it should turn out perfect. Okay, the glue's on, let's go ahead and stick it. The shoe molding will cover the crack between the floor and the panel. I'm really fighting to get this done tonight, because I want a bit of paint tomorrow. I got kind of a tight deadline. All right, there's the back. All right. Slide it in the 22.5-degree angles. Here comes one. There's one. See that crack right there at the bottom? We gotta fix that. We don't want a big crack there. That would be DIY looking. Okay. Oh yeah, I can actually push it into place. Right there. Perfect. I get both of them one time. Put some liquid nails in here just to help it out until it dries. Oh, look at that. I'll live with that. We'll let that liquid nail set up overnight. And then I'll stick a couple of nails in it. That should tighten it up. Hey, it wasn't perfect, but we made it work. And after tomorrow, no one will know the difference. So all I'm gonna do is just take my nail gun. Boom. All I'm doing is crisscrossing nails into the same hole, so I only gotta fix one hole. Just for the record, I've had one jam in the 2 years I've owned this, and I've shot thousands and thousands of nails through it. Highly recommended. So the cap, I got 1x3 for the cap. I was gonna go 1x2, but I was like, I thought 1x3 would give you a little bit more of an edge. The sides will actually go with 1x2s. Should tie it in real nice. We'll tie it into 1x3s and it'll look perfect. You might be thinking, why is my top cap so far out? It's because we want to put pictures on both sides, black and whites, kind of sitting on this little ledge right here. So then the reason why I'm going with the 1x2s here is because this is a 1x2 here. This doesn't matter because I'm just butting into it, so it should play real nice. Hope it fits. It better fit. It's the easiest cut in the world. Yeah, pretty good. Dry fit's good, tight on both ends. Let's get some liquid nails, nail that down. Cap's the best part, so easy. Don't go too nuts with the liquid nails because you'll be cleaning it up. And I'll hit it. See how nice and neat that looks now? A little bump there. We'll have to sand that out. Pretty good right there. It just kind of cases it all in and wraps it around. And then I'm using this plastic wood from DAP. I've never used it before. I'm not sure what the difference between the plastic wood and actually the spackle is. Boom. I am going to touch each one of these little cracks, or I guess these little battens, just on the front side, and then I'll sand it off smooth. Makes it a perfect finish at that point. While I'm filling nail holes, I want you to go ahead and push the subscribe button if you haven't done so, and make sure you like the video. Helps my channel grow. Now luckily for me, I have plugs, and purposely I have plugs below both light sockets. So I'm putting one here, there's a plug, and I'm putting one here, there's a plug. The beauty on top of all that is when I built the house, I had the plugs wired to a switch where one plug's hot at all times and the other two plugs on, well, the other plug on each one of those plugs are actually on a switch. Oh yeah, going nowhere. We're good to go. Both boxes are in. Just gotta tie in the plugs. I won't show that on camera. This is an electrical channel. So right now I'm just gonna caulk. I'm using the Sherwin-Williams 950A for trim. Anyways, all you gotta do is, if you don't know how to caulk, don't make your hole too big, and it's basically just nice even beat all the way down, and then take the pressure off, and then I use a wet rag, get my finger wet, just like this. Make that go away. So simple. Now, the panels, not too hard either, about the same way. The only thing is you got 4 sides in each one of those. It takes a while. Once again, nice even coat. So now don't forget about underneath here. It's pretty easy. These corners that are trim to trim are super easy to do. Wet finger. Paint day. Time to see how it all pays off here. Went to Sherwin-Williams, picked up a gallon of paint, asked them for their recommendation for what I'm doing. They basically said, you know, I'm going with the same color. They said go up one sheen. So I think I was flat. We're going satin here. Anyways, just got a little brush and a roller. We're gonna roll and brush this. The nice thing about Sherwin-Williams is that basically they give you advice and they know their stuff. You never know what you're getting at Lowe's, Menards, and Home Depot. When it comes to paint, seems like those guys flip over a lot. I made some mistakes, but I'm completely happy of the way it turned out. It really finishes off the room, gives it a good, classy look. So what did this cost me? It's about 26 feet of wall. Came out to be about $425. I learned a couple things. I didn't need glue between the battens, the baseboards, and the top rail, and hand painting it actually turned out pretty nice. The transition between the white trim and the gray trim looks great. Not only did the spacing on the battens turn out perfect, but I avoided all the boxes and all the obstacles I had to work around. I also love the way the board and batten peeks over the bed. I still have to build 2 nightstands, a bed bench, and my wife has to decorate, but I'm moving outside for summertime projects, and I can't wait. Take care. I'll see you next time.